I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This Guitar 101 series, which is part of my online music academy, is a beginner through intermediate level guitar course similar to the in-person ones I teach at the university. The course progresses from complete beginner through gaining capability in playing songs in various styles and covers playing chords and melodies and reading chord symbols, tablature, and standard music notation. With the Guitar 101 course, we use 3 of the books from my method book series: Chords and Harmony books 1 and 2, Note Reading books 1 and 2, and Tablature, which are all available for purchase through Amazon and Google Play. Links can be found in the description below or at kristenbromley.com. You are of course welcome to participate in this course with or without the books, but with the books you can play right along with me on all the songs and exercises as intended. Plus, each book comes with exclusive access to additional hours of in-depth video lessons that go with each part of that book. If you find this Guitar 101 series helpful, please like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's get to jamming in this week's lesson. Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. I'm delighted to be here with you. I hope you're having a blast playing the guitar. So this is lesson 21 of the Guitar 101 series, where we go from beginner, never having played before, even all the way to intermediate and even a little bit beyond. So we're having a great time here in lesson 21, which is quite a ways in. Today we're going to review some of the bar chords we've done in the past. Specifically, we're going to review B minor and G minor as we warm up. We're going to review the power chords that we learned last time. We're going to work with a little bit of that finger picking, and we're going to work on some new strumming techniques specifically for odd meters like 5/8 or 7/8. So we'll learn a little bit about that, or I should say I'll teach you a little bit about that, and we'll work on some of that together. We'll also keep working with the note reading and the tablature. In the note reading, we're going to continue to work with alternate picking. Today we'll see dotted quarter notes and syncopated rhythms start to come in. And in the tablature, we're going to continue to work on the lower strings and trying to strengthen that pinky. So we'll do some melodies with that. It's going to be great. We'll also today get into a little bit with 7th chords, besides like A7 or B7 or D7. So those are dominant 7th chords. We're going to get into the sounds of major 7ths and minor 7ths, which are pretty and coloristic. So we have lots to do. Let's go ahead and jump in with the chords on our warm-up with some of these bar chords that are familiar. So we're going to start on page 71, and we're going to do number 1, which will allow us to practice with the G minor. So down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, up, 4, up. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and we got D minor, and then we got A7, G minor, and back to D minor. Let's repeat: D minor, and A7, G minor, and D minor. Flip on over to page 72. We're going to do numbers 4 and 5. So number 4 first, down, down, up, down, up. We're going to practice with B minor. So 1, 2, up, 3, up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, E minor. To the B minor. We got the D. Got the D, the A, and the E minor. Let's do it again. E minor. You got D, A, E minor. Let's do it again. E minor. D minor. go and do number 5, Sloop John B. So I'll give us 1, 2, 3, and we'll begin with down, down, up, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3. We come on the sloop John B. My grandpappy and me. Round Nassau town we did roam, drinking all night. Got into a fight. Oh, I feel so broken. I wanna go home. Let's repeat it. We come on that sloop John B. My grandpappy and me. Round Nassau town we did roam. Yeah, drinking all night. Got into a fight. Oh, I feel so broken. I wanna go home. Okay. We'll go over to page 75 now. We're going to do number 14. So, a little bit practice with that G minor again. Playing God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up, down. 1, 2, 3. God rest ye merry gentlemen. Nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we are gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Okay. We'll go on over to page 77 and do number 19. Give us a little bit more practice with that G minor. Drill ye terriers, drill. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. Early in the morning at 1, 2, ready, and early in the morning at 7 o'clock. There are 20 terriers a-drilling at the rock, and the boss comes around and he says, keep still and come down heavy on your cast iron drill, and drill ye terriers, drill. Drill ye terriers, drill. Well, you walk all day for the sugar in your tea, down behind the railway, and drill ye terriers, drill, and blast and fire. Alright, sometimes with those bar chords, you might notice that I lift off and kind of do a muted thing, creating accents a little bit. And that's something that's just like come natural to me over the years of feeling where I wanted to accent the chord with a bar chord because we don't have to let it ring the whole time. I'm going to play it again though this time and let the chord ring through the whole time and not do that. And if you need to go back and forth between the two, you can kind of hear the difference. We will talk about that technique here in a couple lessons ahead as we get into different strumming techniques. But right now, we're going ahead and gonna let them ring the whole time. I want to ready and early in the morning at 7 o'clock. The 20 terriers are drilling at the rock, and the boss comes around and he says, keep still and come down heavy on your cast iron drill, and drill ye terriers. after that warm-up, let's go over to pages 108 and 109. We're going to work some more with the power chords. Now, if you need a review on these shapes, you can go back to page 107. If you want to see a diagram of the neck, you can go back to page 107. I'm going to help us as we go through and know where to position our hands to play these. But if you want to figure it out as you're playing music, and instead of just having me tell you, it helps to have that diagram. Now, as a review, in memorizing where the notes are located, we're going to mostly stay between frets 3 and 10 on the guitar neck. But with the 6th string, I'm going to go from fret 1 to 12. So, fret 1, 3, 5, 7 are all natural notes, and then 8, 10, 12. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. We know this note is an F from our note reading. We know this note is a G from our note reading. If we continue up alphabetically, then we're going to just continue right up those notes. F, G, A, B, C, D, E. 12th fret is where the guitar starts over at the same note as the open string, only 1 octave higher. So 6th string, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. With the 5th string, it starts on fret 2 for the natural note, and then it's the same all the way up to the 12th. 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. So we know that at the 2nd fret that's a B and the 3rd fret is a C. So it just continues up. C, D, E, F, G, A. So since we're usually not going lower than the 3rd fret, though we can, and it's okay because we know the notes down in 1st position a little bit better, but because we're starting at the 3rd fret, it's the same for both strings. 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12 are where the natural notes are located. And as long as we can remember G on the 6th string and C on the 5th string, we can go up alphabetically. So when we look at number 1 on page 108, we played this one last time, we'll just review that we had that D5, or the D power chord, with the root on the 5th string. So I have a D at the 5th fret on the 5th string, and I play my shape there. Then for the G, we went down to the 6th string with the root and played the shape with the root at the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Then for the B, we went up to the 7th fret on the 6th string where there's a B. We played that shape, and then we went down to the 5th fret for the A and played our power chord shape. So this one should be a review. We're just going to go ahead and play it all down strums. Just like that. 1, 2, ready, and D. Let's look at number 2 then. With number 2, we did this one last time as well. D, the root's at the 5th fret of the 5th string, so we got our shape there. E is 2 frets higher, so at the 7th fret, 5th string. Then we're down to G and A, just like before. Same strumming pattern. Here you go. 1, 2, ready, and D. Okay, now as we look at number 3, it starts with an C sharp 5. So we haven't worked on the sharps and flats yet, but if we can find the natural note, the sharp is just 1 fret higher and the flat is 1 fret lower. So we have a C at the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So C sharp is just going to be 1 fret higher at the 4th fret. So we've got our C5 there. And then we've already been playing the A5, the B5, and the G5. So this one's similar to number 1, only we're starting on C sharp 5 instead of B5. Another option would be to play the C sharp that's on the 6th string. So there's a C at the 8th fret of the 6th string. C sharp is then at the 9th fret. So we could play that one there. And that's kind of, there's a little bit of a pattern to it because we have fret 9, 5, 7, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and play it that way. Personally, you can play it either spots. They're both great. Either one works. Here you go. Same strumming pattern. 1, 2, ready, and you got the C sharp. You have the A. You have the B. G. Repeat. C sharp. A. B. So if we take a look at number 4 then, we have B flat, E flat, and A flat. So on this 6th string, if we count up, we have the 3rd fret, we have G at the 3rd fret, A at the 5th, so B is at the 7th. Flat is 1 fret lower, so we go down to B flat there at the 6th fret. So we have B flat at the 6th fret. E flat, if we find E flat, we're going to find C at the 3rd fret on the 5th string, D there at the 5th, E is at the 7th, so E flat is just at the 6th as well. So we're going to be going from the 6th fret with the root on the 6th string to the 6th fret with the root on the 5th string. A flat, we know where A is because we've been playing it a lot, right there at the 5th fret on that 6th string, so A flat is 1 fret lower. So B flat, it's going to go to E flat, it's going to go to A flat, and it's going to come back to B flat. 1, 2, ready, and B flat. B flat. A flat. B flat. And B flat. B flat. A flat. B flat. Let's repeat. B flat. Go over and do number 7 on page 109. This will be the last one that we will do today. Of course, the lessons in the book go into greater detail. You can practice with all the different exercises, have lots of fun with me, spend hours with me a day as you're learning to play the guitar. So number 7 starts with a C. Now we have a C at the 3rd fret of the 5th string. We have a C at the 8th fret of the 6th string. Which one that we use will depend kind of on where we want to shift from. The next chord is B flat. So we have that B flat again at the 6th fret. We have an F5. So the thing about the F on the 6th string is it's low, and we like to try and stay mostly in sort of the center part of the neck between frets 3 and 10 is good. As we get up to the 12th fret, we get kind of high. As we get down towards the 1st fret, we get a little low, except on the occasion that we want those higher or lower sounds. So I'm going to use the C that's at the 8th fret with the root on the 6th string. Then I'm going to go down to B flat, root at the 6th fret, and it's on the 6th string. Then the closest F, well, we have an F at the 8th fret of the 5th string. So C, D, E, F. So we can play it right there at the 8th fret. So it's just going to go between those. It's very similar to what we were just doing, only in a different key. So let's go ahead and play number 7. 1, 2, ready, and we got C, Okay, so that wraps us up for this warm-up with the chords and review. We're going to go ahead now and do some note reading. Alright, so in the note reading, we're going to be on pages 51 and 52 as we get started. This is in lesson 9 in the note reading book. In this lesson, we're going to see some dotted quarter notes and 8th note rhythms. We also get to a point where we see 8th note rests, which adds a new sort of component to how melodies can be written. We'll also get into syncopation, where the main beat is sort of offset or obscured by lots of repeated notes on offbeats, which can kind of help that main pulse feel a little bit like, wait, where are you? And that's called syncopation. So today, in this specific lesson, we won't be looking at all those things. We're just going to look at dotted quarter notes. So if you take a look at page 51, first, adding the dot, we've seen dotted half notes before. Anytime we add that dot, this is in review, anytime we add that dot next to a note, then we take half the value of that note and we tack it on. So if we cut a whole note in half, that would be a half note. So 2 counts, we're going to add 2 extra counts to the length of that dotted whole note. Or the dot adds 2 extra counts, we should say, to the length of the whole note. So it becomes worth 6 counts instead of 4. Is a way to look at that. So then with the half note, we have a dotted half note. Half of that is 1, so having that dot there adds an extra beat to the length of the note. So with quarter notes, when we cut the quarter note in half, it's the length of an 8th note. So it's half a beat. So this makes it kind of fun because instead of having things on the beat all the time, we've actually got a note value worth 1 1/2 beats. Back when we talked about ties and looked at ties, sometimes it can help with the dotted quarter note to see this as though it were a quarter note tied to an 8th note, because that can help us visualize where the beat is. So you'll see an example there. There tends to be 2 ways that we run into dotted quarter notes for the most part. One is that we'll have a dotted quarter note and it'll be followed by an 8th note, or vice versa, we'll have an 8th note and it will be followed by a dotted quarter note. This isn't always the case, but it's the most common options. As we get into 16th notes later, we might see 2 16th notes instead of an 8th note, but we haven't played that yet. So right now in the world of music that we're playing here with the note reading, and even a lot with the tablature, we're going to see a dotted quarter note followed by an 8th note, or an 8th note followed by a dotted quarter note. So you can look at the rhythms there. Counting these, numbers 1 and 2 at the bottom of page 51 sort of exemplify this. It can help to count where those beats are, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and you can subdivide all the way through if you need to, 1 and 2, and. But when we have a dotted quarter note, we need to find the eighth note that follows it. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. That's just that first measure, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. It can help to subdivide or count those out. In the second example, number 2 there, at the bottom of page 51, we have the opposite. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Let's flip on over to page 52. We'll practice with a little bit of the rhythm options that have these, along with the alternate picking. So we still, in general, are going to pluck downwards for the notes that fall on the beat and up for the notes that fall in between or on the off beat. Now, as we get used to alternate picking, sometimes we may choose to just alternate through something regardless of the rhythm. But as we're getting used to playing rhythm, it really helps to play those notes that fall on the beat with a down pluck and those notes that fall in between the beat with an up pluck. Let's do number 3. So we got the picking direction up above, all on an E note. I'm going to sort of count it out if that helps. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We'll go on to number 4. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and okay. So we've got those. Now if you want more practice with that, use the videos that come with the book. But for our purposes today, we're going to go over to page 53 and play number 6. In the melodies, they are usually less rhythmically active than the exercises. So we're going to run into a few places where we have the dotted quarter note and the eighth note here. Might be a little bit easier, but now we have to worry about playing those notes. Oh, Susanna. And 2, just like that. So this one's in cut time. We've talked about cut time when we were doing strumming patterns a couple lessons ago. I'm not going to talk about it again here. When we're counting, though, or reading melodies written in cut time, it's okay to still kind of conceive of it in 4/4 time. So if you want to count 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 in cut time or 2/2 time, that's fine. That's how I would do it here, especially at the tempos we're playing at. So I'll give us 3 beats as a count in, and we'll catch 4, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay, let's flip on over to page 54 and we'll do numbers 7 and 8. So Drunken Sailor. Just like that. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, and go, and. Okay, let's do number 8. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 2, 3, 4. 3. Okay, let's do some tablature now. Alrighty, so in the tablature, we're going to start off on pages 76 and 77. We're going to do numbers 105 and 106, starting with number 105, Old Zip Coon. This is a great old melody. It continues. This one does not use the pinky, so that makes it a little bit easier than some of the other ones we've done. This might be one you want to get up fast. I know with the videos that come with the book, you got to at different tempos, including pushing it kind of fast, which is kind of fun if you can get it up there. But we're just going to play it at a nice tempo di lerno, as we might say, or just kind of reading it through for the first time. It comes through on 4 and in the pickup measure. Comes through, it comes in on, I should say. So I'm going to give us 1 and 2 and 3 and we'll be in just like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Rest. Okay, we'll take a look at number 106. As I mentioned, you've got the videos that come with the books themselves. You can play along with me at different tempos in that book. But I'm going to go ahead and do number 106, Waltzing Matilda, here in this lesson series. We do have a couple spots where we got to play with that pinky, but otherwise not too much, so shouldn't be too bad. Now, before I play this one, I do want to mention that we have this rhythmic idea that I talked about when we were doing the note reading. So when we have a dotted quarter note, I said it's usually preceded by an eighth note or followed by an eighth note. And I don't know that I specified this, but that fills out the 2 beats. So a dotted quarter note takes up a beat and a half, so an eighth note would fill out the rest of that 2 beats. The rest of like the half note space, you could say. And so I mentioned that sometimes in place of the eighth note preceding or following that dotted quarter, we might see 16th notes. 16th notes go twice as fast as eighth notes. We have that here. I'm just going to play this first couple measures. So it's right there. Just happens to be there, so I thought I'd point that out. Okay, we're going to see that rhythm in 3 places. Same measure, second measure of the first, second, and fourth lines. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. B. Kind of fun. We'll flip on over to pages 107 pages 78 and 79 to do numbers 107 and 108. So this first one with number 107 is sort of this little boogie thing. Kind of like a bass line you might hear in old 60s kind of music, 60s rock. And it can be done straight like that, as written. We'll do it this way first. And it can be swung by sort of tripletizing that beat, giving those eighth notes that fall on the beat 2/3 at least of the beat. We're going to do it sort of as written first with even eighth notes or straight eighth notes. Two different terms used for that. Now another thing you might notice about this one is how many of the notes in those first four measures come out of the C chord. There's all but one, and that's actually the sixth step of the scale, which creates a C6 chord, which we'll learn about in a future lesson. And then on that second line, most of those notes come out of the F chord, except you also have the sixth there. And then with the G7, we're getting notes out of the G chord, except we got the sixth, and back to the F, and so on. So a lot of the notes are going to come right out of the chord shape. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. 1 and 2 and ready and go and... Okay, let's go ahead and do it with the swung up eighth notes now. There you go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and... Okay, and you can do that one at all different tempos or several different tempos in the videos that come with the book. Let's look at number 108, Sloop John B. This one's got that syncopated rhythm that we haven't done yet in the note reading, but that we will. Right there for just a moment. 1 and 1 and. So you get two ands back and forth, obscures where the beat is. That creates a little bit of syncopation. We have that same sort of thing. Down, down, up, up, down. That little up right in the middle obscures where beat 3 is, so a little bit of syncopation, we would call that. Okay, this one is on both pages 78 and 79, so we got to keep going over to the next page. I'll give us 1, 2, 3. Come in on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, rest and 2, 3, 4, rest, 2. 2, rest, 2, rest. Rest, 2, rest, 2. So that's great practice with that pinky finger, and of course you can do that one at different tempos in the actual videos that come with the book. Alright, so we'll go over to page 80 and do number 110. So this will be the last one that we do today. O stor Gud, also might be familiar, How Great Thou Art. The melody for How Great Thou Art comes from this old Swedish folk tune, O stor Gud, Oh Great God, is how that translates. So with this one, you can, if you want to, shift your hand up into second position. As I talked about last time, that would mean using your index finger for the notes in the second fret, middle for the notes in the third, ring for the notes in the fourth, and pinky for the notes in the fifth. And then you just slide down in the couple of spots where you actually need to use the first fret, shift down for that measure or those few notes, and then you can shift back up. I'm just going to go ahead and play it using, as written with my index in the first fret, middle, ring, and pinky. But on this one, in a case like this where you hardly use the first fret at all, but we're using fret 4 quite a bit, sometimes it's nice to just slide up, give the pinky a break, and work with those other fingers, and then slide down when we have to. So that is an option. So the couple of places where you'd have to slide back down are, for example, first measure of the third line, first and second measure really. So and then you can slide back up if you wanted to. And then you're going to have to do it again though for most of the last line. So you would have to slide down. But before that, you could play it up in second position if you want to. Okay, here we go. I'm going to give us 1 and 2 and 3, and we'll come in on and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so we'll go on and finish off this lesson back in the chords. Alright, so as we finish off this lesson, we are back in the chords. We're going to do just a couple different things. We're going to start off with a little bit with the finger picking. So we're going to practice with our newest finger picking pattern. We're going to work with 7/8 and 5/8 time as we learn some new strumming patterns that work with those time signatures that we occasionally run into. And we'll finish off working with major 7th chords and minor 7th chords. So those are more coloristic types of chords that we run into from time to time. So we'll work just a little bit with those. So let's go ahead and get started on page 52 with number 3. We're going to play that chord progression using our newest finger picking pattern. So this is, I've got it written up here on the board. We had that pinch with the thumb and ring finger, and then middle index. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, just like that. So if we go and apply that to number 3, the whole thing happens once per measure. Just like that. Here you go. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a go and a. Okay, that was a reminder. That can be tricky, especially with a pattern like this that requires us to grab the bass note and the highest note at the same time. As we're switching chords, we may find that we get a lot of like muted strings. Just do the best you can, and over time you get better and better and better. Okay, we're going to go on to page 87. Well, 87 and 88 really. We're starting on page 87. And we're going to look at 5/8 and 7/8 time. These time signatures are a little bit less common, and they're known as odd time signatures. And this is sort of how it works. The beat, so to speak, is an eighth note, but it's kind of like 6/8 time, where you have groupings of eighth notes. So we kind of have overall 2 beats per measure for 5/8 and overall kind of 3 beats per measure for 7/8. But this is where it gets interesting, because the division of those beats is a different amount sometimes. So for example, you have 2 eighth notes in 5/8, and then that could be 1 beat, and then the next beat's going to have 3 eighth notes. So 2 plus 3. The thing that makes it interesting is the 2 beats aren't worth the same value. The eighth notes continually are the same value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And why do the groupings matter? Well, there's an accenting to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With 5/8 time, you're going to have 2 eighth notes plus 3 eighth notes, or 3 eighth notes plus 2 eighth notes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There at the bottom of page 87, I whacked that last one a little hard. With 7/8 time, you're going to have 2 beats that have groupings of 2 eighth notes, and 1 beat that has a grouping of 3. So 2 plus 2 plus 3, or 3 plus 2 plus 2 is how this works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the strumming pattern we use needs to fit into that overall metric feel. If we go over to page 88, we're going to play number 5 with I and J. The patterns, we've got I1 and I2, J1 and J2. I1 is for 5/8 time. It's the 2 eighth notes plus 3 eighth notes version. And then I2 is the 3 eighth notes plus 2 eighth notes version. Let's start with those ones. So I'm just going to demonstrate how these are. It involves using 16th notes and a little bit of syncopation, kind of, to sort of give this feel, this strumming pattern that fits inside that 2 plus 3 feel for the 5/8. Down, up, down, up, down, 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 down, up, down, up, down. That's how that goes. Just warm up on that. We're going to try playing number 5 with this strumming pattern. Here you go. I'll just count us in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sort of a short introduction there. Of course, the videos that come with the book go into greater detail if you want more detail. We'll go on to I2 now, which has the 3 eighth notes plus the 2. So down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Just reverses it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. you might wonder, which one do I use? Well, it depends on the melody of the song. And the melody of the song is where we catch the 3+2 or the 2+3. So we just have to fit with that. Sometimes it will reverse or change in a song, but usually it stays pretty consistent. So let's go ahead and look at J1 and J2 now. Well, J1, that's the one that's for 2+2+3. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. We'll go ahead and apply that. To the chord progression. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. J2 then. So with this one it's 3+2+2. Down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. Here you go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go into more detail with that, go ahead and check out those videos that come with the book. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go over and take a look at major 7th chords and minor 7th chords. We're going to look first at pages 143 to 145 where there's an explanation. So far with 7th chords, we've played dominant 7th chords. Those have a 7th in them, so 7th chords have a 7th added beyond the triad, or the root 3rd and 5th. Or if it's a suspended chord, it could be the root 4th and 5th, or the root 2 and 5. So those ones we've seen just a little bit. We had that dominant 7th chord that was suspended that we practiced with a couple lessons ago. So major 7th chords are pretty sound. There are two types of 7ths that can be added to a chord. We can have a major 7th or a minor 7th, and that's all about the interval of the 7th that sits above the root, and it also correlates with the scale that we're borrowing that 7th from. So major 7th chords have a major 7th that sits above the root, and it creates a real pretty sound. So root 3, 5, major 7. These just sit pretty. I added the 3rd on on top. They're just a pretty coloristic chord, one of my favorite chords in the whole world. Major 7th chord. Now, we've played C7 and all these dominant 7th chords. They have a minor 7th that's added above the root. They have a tension, they're more common. We don't have anything in front of that 7. We just have the root plus a 7, so C7, A7, B7, D7, G7. We've played all these dominant 7th chords, major chords with a minor 7th. Now we're going to work on the major 7th, adding that in. So the ones you're going to need off page 143 are going to be the C major 7 and the F major 7. Those are the two that we're going to play here in a moment. So check out F major 7 and C major 7. You'll notice with the chord symbols there on in the middle of page 143 that major 7th chords have something in front of the 7 telling us it's a major 7th chord. So we have the root and then MAJ 7, C major 7, or F, capital M7, uppercase M, tells us it's a major 7th, or a triangle in front of the 7th tells us it's a major 7th. MA in front of the 7th can tell us it's a major 7th. These are some of the examples where we know it's a major 7th, so it's C major 7 instead of C7. So take a look at C major 7 and F major 7. You'll notice in both cases the highest place where we have a finger that goes to an open string. For both C and F major 7. F major 7 is easier to play than F. Isn't that nice? Okay, if you turn over to page 144, we'll see the dominant 7th chords there. So we're already familiar with those. We've been playing them for a while. Then over on page 145, there's two types of minor chords that we can have the 7th added to. Or I should say, with a minor chord, we can have both types of 7ths, the major 7th or the minor 7th added. We're just going to worry today about the minor 7th. But I'll play here the A minor major 7th. It's a very James Bondish kind of sound. So that's a minor chord with the major 7th, but the ones that we're going to be working on today are the minor chords with the minor 7th. So you can have the minor chord with the major 7th or a minor chord with a minor 7th. The more common one that we see as far as frequency is the minor 7th. So this one just has the root and then something telling us it's a minor 7th. Lowercase m7 or a dash 7, something like that. So it's really just telling us it's a minor chord, and oh, that minor 7th has been added. Just added the 7th on there at the end. You're going to want to take a look at A minor 7, D minor 7, and E minor 7. Note with A minor 7 that you're just taking the ring finger off. With D minor 7, it slightly changes, but it's like playing the F chord without the F on bottom. Instead of that, we have an open string, so the D. And then E minor 7, we just have to take a finger off. Okay, so once you get those down, we're going to go over to page 148 and play numbers 7 and 9. We're going to do number 9 first. We're just going to go down, down, up, down, up. So we're going to have C major 7 to A minor 7 to E minor 7 to F major 7, D minor 7, C major 7, F major 7, C major 7. Really, really pretty sounds. 1, 2, up, 4, up. Here you go. 1, 2, ready, and C major 7 to A minor 7 and E minor 7 and F major 7 and D minor 7 and C major 7 and F major 7 and C major 7. Let's repeat. C major 7, A minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, D minor 7, C major 7, F major 7, and C major 7. It's really pretty. And you can practice and learn more of these chords, of course, with the videos that come with the book, which go into far greater detail. We're going to go back and do number 7 now, though. This one's going to have that D minor 7. It's the only chord that we're going to play that we didn't just play. Although we will do a G7. But we already know G7. So G, dominant 7th. Down, down, up, down, up. Here you go, number 7. A 1, 2, ready, and C major 7. To F major 7. Let's repeat that, C major 7. To the F major 7. Then going on, we've got E minor 7. I think so. Alright, so that wraps us up for this lesson. Hope you're enjoying playing the guitar and learning some new things. I sure do love playing the guitar. I also hope that you're applying the skills that you're gaining here with this course with songs that you want to learn to play. So things that you're really interested in playing, that you're using these skills to go and figure out how to play those songs. Songs that you really like. So that's the whole reason we play the guitar. Well, it's one of the main reasons. We can also uplift others and just have a blast jamming. So I will see you next time. In the next lesson, we will continue to work with those power chords. We'll continue to review bar chords. We'll work on some strumming techniques where we're inputting bass notes. So that's going to be fun. Kind of stuff. We'll do a little bit of flat picking in that regard and start getting into those techniques. We'll continue to work with the note reading and the tablature, of course, and the finger picking, doing those accompaniment patterns. So, and with these new 7th chords. So it's going to be great. I'll see you next time. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.